Question number 1 we have from Man of Feels. Wow. So in touch with your feelings. I really respect that. Man of Feels. Hello there, Matt. How do you think Anakin Skywalker and Skyfox would get along if they had a team up on a mission or an adventure? I think Anakin and Skyfox would be besties because they're both sort of rule breakers. You know, they both sort of do what they want to do. They just go at the beat of their own drum, you know, whatever that little phrase is. And I just think they'd be pals because I think they're both kind of like just gunslingers in a way. You know what I'm saying? This one is from Abby Frisco. Hi, Matt. What's the biggest challenge in embodying the role of Skyfox George for Jupiter's Legacy? He's got such a complex history and arc. Yeah, he really does. One of the biggest challenges embodying Skyfox or George. Well, as you might know, Jupiter's Legacy, May 7th on Netflix, coming out, is it's a multi-generational story, you know? So we are playing ourselves both young and extremely old. So I would say that's one of the bigger challenges, kind of trying to figure out who that character is when he's early, mid-20s, and then who he is as a 120-year-old superhero, with a lot of gap missing in between that we don't really know. We know a little bit from the comics, but we're kind of trying to wait to see, hopefully, we'll get to see that eventually, how it sort of plays out and what's going on in the middle. So that would be the most challenging thing, is to connect these two characters as the same, but also very, very different people because they've had years of life experience in between. This is from Jill Osborne 131. Have you read the comics before you took on the role? Is there any other character you would have liked to have played instead of George? I did not read the comics before got the job. After I got the job, I read the comics. I'm obsessed. I love them. If you haven't read them, check out Jupiter's Legacy and Jupiter's Circle, because our show is kind of a mishmash of both. Other characters you would like to have played instead of George? There's a lot of cool, really great, complex characters, but I'm going to stick with George. I think he's one of the best, if not the best. I mean, I'm impartial to him, so I got to say that, you know. From the Crevet, hi, Matt. How much are we going to learn about George's backstory this season? More than in the comic? Is he going to interact with any historical figures? Merci. Hashtag Jupiter's Legacy. Hashtag Timeless. I see what you did there. It's a little mishmash of Jupiter's Legacy and Timeless. I can tell you that George is not going to be meeting Abraham Lincoln or anyone like that. Might he interact with some ex-presidents? Possibly. Not this season, but that could be to come. And how much are we going to learn about George's backstory? I think if you make it to episode 3, you will learn a lot about George's backstory. You'll get a little bit of feel for who he is and what makes him tick. But other than that, I love that half of our episodes are spent in the past with these young characters. So our origin story of how they attain these powers and kind of who they are, over the entire first season, you're kind of discovering who these characters are. So that makes it really awesome. Haley Ann Miller, what's something that surprised you about joining the Millar world as George slash Skyfox? I guess I kind of knew it, but just how big this production is and like how epic in scope it is. I've never been a part of something this big. I mean, we had entire stages draped in green screens. Our set builders built entire ships on set. We built entire landscapes on set. So I think to be a part of something that is so massive, honestly feels a little like I did when I joined Star Wars. Like I didn't quite know the scale of Star Wars fandom. And I think I'm starting to discover that there is a large amount of people that are fans of Millar World. And I think that's going to just explode after the show comes out. This is from Jerix L. Hey, Matt, do you think Skyfox and Wyatt Logan from Timeless are similar? Any time travel in Jupiter's Legacy? Well, as I said, Jupiter's Legacy, we do take place over present day and basically 1929 here in the first season. So if you want to classify that as time travel, but in the timeless sense of time travel, no. Do you think Skyfox and Wyatt Logan are similar? Yeah, actually a little bit. I mean, I think that every character I play, there's a piece of me in that character. I think there's a piece of that character in me that I already have to bring that character to life. I do think, I'm not saying I am, but I think that both Wyatt and George are sort of like, they're sort of rogue. Like they do what they want. They're rule breakers. I don't know, maybe I do what I want. I don't know. But they're sort of rule breakers. They make their decisions, and once they make them, that's the way. They're done. So maybe in that way. This question is from Sissy0188PF. What's the highlight of your role? To be honest with you, I mean, I think that the obvious answer or the expected answer might be, well, I'm a superhero. I get to wear a superhero suit and I'm flying and all that kind of stuff. That's awesome. Being up on the wires and the harnesses and flying, being 30 feet above everybody is cool. But I mean, the complexity of this character is what's really, really cool. And how different I think he's going to be, how different and jaded he's going to be in the future or present when we see him, and then the past. I think he's a different character. So it's kind of like getting to play two characters in one role. And the thing I love about George compared with some of the other characters is he's sort of the comic relief-ish. I mean, if you want to say there's a comic relief. I mean, I guess it's not that dramatic, but he's sort of like, he's got some one-liners, he's got some zingers that I really like playing. So, I like that part about George. This is from Nako Star Wars. Can you answer if you're involved in any future animations? Will we see your Anakin again? That is a big, huge, resounding, I can't talk about it. That's a lot of numbers. PC 17782141157. Hey Matt, believe it or not, you're actually quite a popular fan cast for the live-action Hal Jordan. Are you open for the role? Interesting. Well, to that I would say Green Lantern. My name is Matt Lanter. I mean, is that coincidental? I think not. Could anyone do it better than Lantern? Maybe not. No shade, Ryan Reynolds. I'm just kidding. I love Ryan Reynolds. He's freaking fantastic. Would I be open to it? Yeah, sure, why not? From Wasserman Review, while playing Anakin, what aspects of the character did you specifically borrow from Hayden Christensen's portrayal, and which were your own design? Hayden did a great job of taking the character from sort of this kind of bratty teenager to, one of the greatest, most well-known villains of all time in about less than 4 hours, or right at. So those aspects, I was definitely able to take inspiration from his performance. My own stuff, I should say my own George Lucas and Dave Filoni, was to add a little bit of bravado and kind of heroism and honestly, it's kind of a Han Solo-esque performance to the Clone Wars Anakin. I think we really wanted to see him more of a hero. So when he does make that fall, it feels more tragic because you like him and the relationships and his experiences that he's had in his life, and you root for him in the Clone Wars. And so I think that strengthens the story as a whole. This is from Bretton Stewart 6. Well, hello there, Matt. I'm just kidding. I'm going to leave that to James Arnold Taylor and Ewan McGregor. Well, hello there. Star Wars prequels are one of the juiciest sources of memes on the internet today. Okay, what's your personal favorite? There's a lot of memes out there. Oddly enough, I've gotten this question before. I haven't seen all the memes, so I wouldn't be a good judge. But certainly, there's got to be some kind of a fried bacon meme with poor Anakin crawling up the lava. It's just wrong, I know, but I don't know, that's all I can think of. So anyway, hope you enjoyed these answers. It's been fun. Thanks for hanging out.